Just that last quarter was just outrageous. The Bulls had 75 points through 3 quarters. A team that scored essentially 150 in the last game had half that through 3 quarters. And the Lakers were up 16 with 9 minutes left, up 13 with 5.5 left, and as you just showed, up 5 with 12 seconds left, and up 1 with 1 second left, and they lost. Listen, the opening, the 3 to cut it from 5 to 2, I am not as concerned by that. LeBron's right, it was miscommunication. I'm not entirely, maybe it was LeBron's guy.
Patrick Williams.
Yeah, Patrick Williams won. I just know that there were 4 guys guarding 3, and then LeBron was left to guard 2. So something got screwed up there. But giving up a 3 up 5 is not a big deal.
No.
If they would, because they would have given him a layup if they wanted it. The inbounds by LeBron is just as bad of a mistake as he's made all year. It's just as bad of a turnover as somebody can make. And then, listen, I joke about basketball gods and sports gods, but after this sequence here, Lakers deserve to lose. So Austin tried to save them, but it's not unfair or unlucky that Giddey made that shot. I know it sounds like it's unlucky because you got beat by a half quarter, but you should have never been in that position. And so this to me is further confirmation, Brew, that if at any given moment this team loses focus or connection defensively, they can instantly become just awful defensively. So they give 75 points through 3 quarters and 44 in the last quarter. And so they give up 25 points a quarter and then the equivalent of 132 points through 3 quarters. So now 11 threes is a little unlucky, but yeah, I mean, they do not have the luxury of being able to take their foot off the gas on the defensive end of the court, or any game can become a game.
Yeah. First off, getting lost in the hole. Well, they gave up 25 points a quarter and they gave up 40. That's called basketball. Okay? Yeah, that's why you can't just look at basketball 100% mathematically and analytically. Okay? I mean, that is the wrong way to view basketball. 1,000%. So that already kind of just falls on deaf ears, honestly. Yeah, to me, this isn't losing focus necessarily. This is issues of fatigue, running low on energy. At the end of the game, you see LeBron kind of not be what he was earlier. And that is what continues to be my concerns in the playoffs. Because you're going to have greater periods of time, like the final minute or so of this game is going to be really like 10, 15 minutes of game 1, game 2, game 3, game 4, and onward. And so that fatigue really, really adds up. And you start to make a lot of these mental mistakes. And it's harder to overcome when you're not there. I mean, I think like almost like all 3 buckets were all shot in LeBron's face at that point, and he made, the bad pass. And they had a timeout. They should have just called a timeout at that point. There's no reason to believe that you were going to necessarily, you were going to need to save that for something. So you could have just called a timeout rather than just give a lazy inbound. Make sure that that you have exactly everything set how you want it, who you want to get the ball to, when and where. You probably would have you would have gotten fouled right away, and then you would have, let me look real fast. Yeah. So they could have called a timeout here. They had the timeout, 9.8 seconds to go, and they're up by 2. So just call the timeout. I'm failing to see why you would necessarily need to save that timeout. You call the timeout. You're going to get the ball to exactly who you want to, because you're going to run a play. I mean, you should get the ball to who you want to. You're going to probably get fouled immediately. And if you're lucky, you'll be able to have some sort of inbound play that'll shave off another 2 seconds maybe. But even if it's like an immediate foul, you'll be fouled now with 9 seconds to go. And you have to imagine at the very least, you're going to make one inbound, one free throw. At least. Now you're up by 3, and obviously, ideally, you hit both of them, then boom, you're up by 4. then they're going to have to inbound the ball and go up the length of the court. That'll take you, even if they now make a half-court shot, there'll be like 2 seconds left to go, 1 second left, and you're still up by one, depending on, if you made both or not. You're just obviously in a significantly more powerful of a decision, situation at that point. And then that's why you won't even need a timeout, because even if you want to just get a little aggressive and just launch the ball down, obviously you have to like at least catch it, but even if you want to just do like a deep inbound pass, like time will expire, even if it gets intercepted, time would get expired. So, yeah, the way how this all just kind of unfolded for them, I think just kind of, ended up being death by 1,000 paper cuts at that point. I'm not going to lose too much into it. That's why I'm not going to be like, oh, well, they were playing so great defensively, then they lost focus in the fourth quarter and this and that. And it's just like, that's going to happen. First off, that's going to happen in any basketball game, because basketball, it's not linear. That's why I think it's so silly to be like, well, they were averaging only 100 points. And then in the fourth quarter, they were playing like they were on pace for 132 points. And it's like, that's not how basketball works. Like, are you kidding me? So Steph Curry will have a second quarter where he makes 4 threes. So does that mean that he's averaging 16 threes a game? Like, what are we saying? Like, it's just not how you look at basketball. It's just not. It doesn't make any sense. Yeah. I mean, I just think that a little moments like this to me are actually playoff moments. And that's why I'm not going to get too up about it in terms of like, oh my God, this was a devastating loss or this or that, because it is just a regular season game right now. And we're close enough to the playoffs where I'm just not going to pretend like these games are everything. People want to try to make you do that because they want to milk out every little last bit of the NBA season, of the regular season. I'm not going to do that, because I know at the core of it only matters so much. Obviously, I know seeding and all of that. I get that, but like, it only matters so much. But to me, this is, to a degree, a little bit of a preview of some of the playoff issues that a team like the Lakers can have. I don't think their bread and butter is going to be winning high IQ, high level close games. I just don't. I just don't think that's going to be the case, because I think LeBron James will struggle to be able to do that at this point of his career in deep playoff series. I just think you're going to be running out of gas. And again, like to me, this was more mental fatigue more than anything else. And that's why you do need a coach like JJ Redick to be on your guard at this moment and realize, wow, this game just really suddenly got weird for a second. Just time out. We need a second. We need to take a beat. Time out. You just need to take a beat. You need to take a beat. And they obviously didn't do that. You get a lazy pass. You get a lazy, tired pass. Knock down the shots. And, there you go. So, yeah. It's a tough loss, obviously. Hopefully it acts as a little bit of a wake-up call for the Los Angeles Lakers. Definitely a fun regular season game. Obviously, if you're a Lakers fan, you're like, oh my God, what the heck was that? But if you're more outside looking in, it's a fun game to watch. And if you looked at the ESPN, where they give like the predictor of like who's gonna win based off the score at what time is left, like it was I mean, it was kind of, you couldn't even really like zoom into it enough to like really see how all over the place it was. But yeah, it's a tough one, but I think losses like this actually kind of end up being kind of good in a way, especially this close to playoffs, because it is an absolute wake up of like, yo, this game is never over. Even when you think it's over, it's not. So if you think the game is over with 8 seconds to go and we're up by 6 and it's game 4 and we're on the road, yeah, I don't want to see a smile. I don't want to see people talking about, what they're going to eat post game. Like, you are focused. You are focused. Right? And then it's even a wake up call for JJ Redick to know, like, oh my God, I can't trust this team to just be able to do this, and do what needs to be done. I need to be on my guard. I need to be marching off onto the court calling a timeout. Like, I can't sit down for a second. Like, I got to be focused. Like, everybody, it's a wake-up call. It's a near-death experience is honestly how I see it. This close to the playoffs as well. because I just think the margin of error for the Lakers will be a lot smaller. And so you can't drop a game like this in the playoffs. You drop a game like this in a series, and it could be the difference between, you know, winning the whole series and losing the whole thing. So I see it as a wake-up call more than anything. But those are just my thoughts. I'd absolutely love to hear yours. What do you guys all think about the Lakers and, you know, their quite bizarre loss to the Bulls in the last seconds? Let me know in the comments below. I read every single comment, so whether you agree with me or disagree with me, either way, let's get in some discussions, let's get in some fights, but ultimately, let's just have some fun. And please do consider subscribing. We are building an amazing community here, and absolutely love to see you part of it. I want to build something that we all genuinely feel connected to, something that we're really excited to be part of. I think we're well on our way to doing it. And please don't forget to give this video a thumbs up, because it really does help with the visibility and the algorithm. Thank you so much. See you next time.